So, Paul, what were Colchester Machine Tool Solutions taking to MACH? I think it's behind you, isn't it?
It is, yeah. An integrated system. It's basically a fully automated cell featuring robot, lathe, and laser marker, which are all communicating with each other.
Now, let's pick up on the laser engraving just briefly before we talk about the cell as a solution, because this is quite a big market for you guys at the moment, isn't it? You're getting quite heavily involved in this laser engraving. Can you maybe tell us about exactly where that fits and who would buy the machine maybe as a standalone before we talk about the cell?
Yeah, the standalone unit is basically for anybody that's looking for a permanent marking solution. So aerospace, automotive, basically anybody that's looking to permanently mark a product and achieve full traceability.
Okay, now various sizes of machines and types of machines, so definitely worth visiting Colchester Machine Tool Solutions' website to see the product portfolio available. But as for this message, so just describe what's happening behind you, and we are going to see this in a minute in action, but can you tell us what would have been on show at the event?
Yeah, basically, as I said earlier, it's a completely automated system. So we have a robot which is picking an item, placing it into the lathe. The lathe will then obviously produce the product. The robot then takes the product from out of the lathe, presents it to the laser marks, sends a signal back to the robot moves off, and then the entire sequence starts again. So fully automated system without any human interference.
And with a product like this, Paul, the communication is obviously critical. What about if there's a change of components in the cycle, in the machine? Is it readily identifiable that a part has changed? Does it all talk?
Yeah, everything can talk. It can be done via connections to PCs, which can monitor the job. We can connect it up to vision systems, which can identify a change of product if necessary. It can also identify a product which either isn't marked correctly or hasn't been produced correctly. The Vario communication is very, very good. It will communicate with lots of different other pieces of equipment to allow you to basically do whatever you need to do to make that application work.
And I suppose the big thing with the product marking is about assurances and traceability, isn't it? And by automating that process as well, it further enhances that sort of critical area.
It does, and also as well, you get a hard copy of any data that's been produced because there's a logging facility within the machine itself. So every mark that takes place, the information that's been marked onto that product and the time and date at which that particular product was marked is then logged as a hard copy, which can then be accessed at any time.
And I like the way you're demonstrating this, or would have been at MACH, because so often now we're seeing automation. People want to they don't want the operator involved in having to move parts from a machine to another operation, because there is that risk of something going awry, isn't there? And I suppose this totally eliminates that.
This completely eliminates it. Yeah, the control is completely a machine control system. So there's no operator interface with the unit itself. So the machine's as foolproof as the person that puts the data into it.
Two final points here, Paul, for me. We're seeing it obviously on one of your turning centres behind, but it wouldn't matter what machine you had, would it? The communication. Would it matter if it was a machine that wasn't one of Colchester's?
Not at all. No, it's designed to integrate into literally anything that's out there. It has TCP/IP interface, serial interface. It's got a web browser in there, so you can actually operate it with a smartphone or a tablet. It can be operated anywhere off a network to any other piece of equipment.
Brilliant. And I'm just going to conclude kind of where we started here on the actual on the product marking itself on those machines. The range is vast. Visit Colchester Machine Tool Solutions' website to see more. But Paul, quickly, any materials, any size can be marked by yourselves with a product.
Yes, it can. I mean, we have a range of different lasers. We have UV systems, we have CO2 systems, we have the fibre systems, so we can mark everything from paper right through to tungsten, really.